having a lot of fun. Just fun to be out there to get better.
Year 2 for you here in this system, like what does that look like on the field for you, at least so far?
Yeah, obviously a little bit more comfortable with kind of what we're doing as an offense, kind of with the players around me. Obviously there's some new guys, but just more comfort with the system that I'm in, with Coach Lenny and what we're trying to do and trying to accomplish.
If you look back at last season as a whole, kind of your first time playing extended snaps, what's the biggest thing you learned from that year and kind of that time in college?
Yeah, you learn a lot. You learn kind of how to play again, learn the speed of the game again. You learn a lot of things, but learn how to be a good leader in certain situations. But you know, I feel like I could write a book about, you know, all the different things you learn just through, you know, snap to snap, rep to rep. But took a lot from it, a lot of ups and downs, and but I know it all worked for good.
You know, Coach Lenny talked to us about urgency and delivering the football, throwing guys open. Like, how do you work on that? How do you hone that skill in these spring practices?
Yeah, I think I just got to be more decisive, kind of with my decisions. You know, kind of, you know, when I see it, you know, letting it rip, letting it go, and you know, not second guessing. You know, not worrying about making a mistake, which kind of was the case a little bit last year. But yeah, just being more decisive with kind of my decisions, what I'm seeing, and being more assertive as a leader, I think, too. Is
that just a factor of having more snaps and more experience to have that decisiveness, and or no, is it something different than that?
I think it just, you know, it just comes with that comfort I was talking about. You know, as I get more comfortable, you know, day to day throughout spring, and I'll grow into that. And you know, having the reps I did last year, it only, I mean, it builds upon that too. But I think just rep to rep, you know, day by day is key to you know, kind of gaining that decisiveness.
Look, I don't think we've talked to you since the end of the season last year. What was the last couple of games like for you and getting hurt? And first of all, everything's better. Do you physically?
Yeah, I'm all good
You're
physically.
100%?
Yeah, I'm good. But obviously, you know, it was a different perspective there for the last, you know, 2 or 3 games, and it was awesome to watch John kind of do what he did, and you know, watching him work was really cool. And but yeah, it was a different perspective, but you know, you take a lot from it, learn a lot about yourself, really, through watching John, through watching kind of, you know, our offense when, you know, I wasn't in there. So it was a good perspective. I think it'll help me in the long run, and yeah, I think it'll only work out for good.
Coaches said you handled well. How was that? What's that mean? Handling well?
Yeah, I think just trying to be a good teammate every single day. You know, kind of showing up with the same purpose, same intent that I try to show up as a starter. You know, wanting to be a good teammate, you know, coming through the doors every day, you know, not for myself, but for my teammates, trying to serve them, trying to be a good leader wherever I am, you know, kind of on the field.
But not being in the field, I assume, is fire too, motivation too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously want to be out there, you know, kind of in the fire, you know, with my guys, you know, in the attack, and you know, I love competing too. So that was it was hard. It wasn't easy, you know, kind of having that perspective. But I think it'll ultimately kind of it was best for me in the long run, I think.
Sure.
A couple of primary receivers moved on to the next level, Tip and Isaiah. But who do you see stepping up in that room, and are there some newcomers that we should keep an eye on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for Casey, Isaiah, Tip, and all those guys for what they're about to do, and there's next steps, and they'll do great things just because of how great of people they are. And I saw Tip and Isaiah today in the building, and you know, it just shows the kind of guys that they are. They love to be around the guys, and I'm so excited for them. But I think there's a multitude of guys that will make plays for us this year. Obviously, Pat returning, had a lot of production, and got some new guys too, and got some younger guys who will step up. But I guess we'll, you know, have to wait and see throughout spring ball day by day. So excited to see those guys grow, and me as well.
Luke, you said it wasn't easy last year. Like, how did you navigate that, I guess, difficulty of being in that spot and then sitting? Like, what was important for you to work your way through that?
Yeah, I think just my faith in the Lord, and kind of my foundation. You know, kind of just trying to stay in the moment. It was easy to look ahead, kind of to what would next game look like, what would, you know, 2 games look like, what would the end of the season look like. But like I said, you know, I just try to serve and, you know, be a good leader for my team wherever I was. If I was taking the 1 reps or the 2 reps, I just wanted to be a good teammate, and ultimately that's what, you know, matters most to me. And if I can do that, then I think I'll be in a good spot. And that was the mindset that I had.
I don't know if you looked at it like this, but like that was kind of a once in a long time heater that John was on. How'd you look at that? Like, was it one of those, like, I get it, like, I understand that he's kind of on one right now, or like, what was your view there?
Yeah, it was tricky to navigate all the emotions because he, like you said, he was rolling. He had a great run there, and it was cool to see him operate and do what he did and have his production. It was really awesome to see because he worked so hard for it. I know he did, and watched him every single day work and compete with me. Like I said, it was hard to navigate those emotions. Obviously, want to be out there competing with my brothers, and but yeah, it was tricky and difficult. But ultimately, like, it just goes back wanting to be a good teammate. Serving those around me and serving John out the best I could.
What was the biggest thing you learned from that you can take into now?
A lot. You learn from kind of as you watch John, you learn from you kind of have retrospective and looking back on kind of your reps and kind of comparing them. I don't want to say compare, but looking at how they were similar, how they were different, how I could be better in the offense moving forward. And but you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself through an adverse time and the tricky situation it was and all the emotions. You learn a lot, but obviously provided a lot of perspective and understanding that I think life is just a big test of your faith, of your perseverance, of your love, your servantship, and but yeah, I mean it was hard, but I know it'd be good for me in the long run.
Seems like quarterbacks tend to take a leap in their second year in a system. What's that 1 year as a Big Ten starter do for you, just in terms of the game slowing down for you and familiarity with the scheme?
Yeah, it does a lot. Obviously, like I said, I'm more comfortable with what we're doing year 2, and been doing it for a year now. So kind of understanding what we're trying to accomplish here on offense, what Coach B wants, and how he sees the game, and trying to play that out on the field, and obviously kind of learning the speed of the game too, with how to operate within a system and certain situations. So obviously having those reps under my belt will help me moving forward.
Coach Bielema talked yesterday about they just know your skill set a little bit better now, having been here a year, and maybe you can tweak some things offensively that would fit you a little bit better now that they're familiar. Like, how have you felt that kind of give and take with Coach Lunny and maybe fitting things more to what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's only day 1 of spring, so I'm still figuring that out a little bit, and we've only had a limited amount of meetings, so still yet to kind of understand completely what that kind of means. But whatever situation they put me in, I'm going to go execute it as best I can, and I know they'll put me in good situations. But I believe in myself. I trust in my abilities, and I'm going to do what I can to be efficient in the offense.
Is there one priority for you in terms of something you really, I got to get better at X, Y, Z? So one of those, I know everything, but so one thing that you really want to get better at?
Yeah, I think, kind of watching John and seeing how he operated, just being more decisive with my decisions, and being more assertive with, how I lead and things like that. But, I think I got to be better within the pocket, a little bit better. Ran into a few sacks last year and a few too many sacks, and, I can help my offensive line a little bit better. But I think there's a lot of things that I can be better at. Like I said, I could write a book about it, but being more assertive, being more decisive with what I'm doing, being better within the pocket, and I think that just comes with reps. More comfort and trusting in my abilities and trusting my training.
During that tough stretch, what were conversations with Coach B like, knowing that you still have a very big role in this long-term plan?
Yeah, I mean, I understood what he was doing, and I understood that my role in that situation because John was doing so well, and he was on the heater, like he said, and I think the conversations were, how can I be a better teammate, in this situation? It's not an easy situation, but I can grow within it, and I can make it out for good, and I kind of stay faithful to the Lord, and yeah, I think just being a good teammate through it all. It wasn't easy, but yeah, I think it was those conversations were, how can I be better with what I'm doing physically, and kind of how can I grow mentally as well.
We got time for maybe one more with Luke if you need it.
Have you seen some growth from other guys in the